This is a product that I'm going to be using very soon as I receive it. I've actually heard of this years and years ago, but I've avoided it because I generally stick with things that are 100% natural foods. Now, I do want to point out from the beginning, even though this is not well, parts of it are natural foods because it has trace elements in it, but it's non-nutritional. Actually, it's supposed to act as a catalyst, and they're not really sure how it works. But my common sense says this: it's had a following for a number of decades, and we also know that the FDA tested this product and found nothing harmful in it. So it doesn't create any harm. But what actually starts telling me that it works is that they've used this product on plants and pets and animals with good results according to the people. Now, in other words, if it's a placebo effect, the animal basically doesn't know what it's being given, and especially in the case of a plant, if somebody's claiming that they did something to these plant seeds and soaked them in with this water, and they did not do that to these plant seeds, and they keep getting the same result, well, maybe there's something to it. So I'm always curious about some of these nutritional type things, and basically longevity, super health, and that type of thing. Now, this product is originally $30. This was on Swanson Vitamins, $11.86. Now, this will actually make many gallons of Willard Water because you only need to use a couple teaspoons in a gallon. It's a very small amount. And this dark concentrate actually contains more of the trace elements, which is something that is vital to a lot of people because our soils are actually depleted of trace elements for the most part. Even if you eat healthy vegetables, a lot of times they are not in the particular vegetables that you eat because they're depleted from the soils. But it's an inexpensive product because actually this would last for months. Now, basically what it is, and I'm going to post the references on these because I'm going to give you a quick rundown of this. Now, the reason I think this does work, common sense. Use common sense, more important than anything. I don't care how many things they put out there with statistics and pages of volumes of information, how many people with degrees say whatever. If there's a strong following and it's been around for decades, and people are also not just using it on themselves, but they're using it on pets, animals, and plants, and they're telling you they're swearing by it, something's telling you something about this works, but nobody is really sure how it exactly works. Theoretically, it seems to work as a catalyst, where it's enabling the body to absorb more nutrients or something. I'm not 100% sure, and actually nobody is, but the following persists. Actually, they closed the plant down a little bit many decades ago, but the governor of South Dakota received so many complaints that they opened it back up because people were swearing by how well it works. So what it is, it uses a patented catalyst system, an electrically charged colloidal particle that is the core ingredient to Dr. Willard's water. This process causes a catalyst that alters the structure of water, making water behave in a manner that is heretofore not reported in literature. That's what he says. Now, it's not a nutrient, but it has some things in it. Actually, it has even a tiny trace element of castor oil too. A couple other things, but it actually has been proven safe for consumption by the FDA and all the testing for toxicity. So it's not something that will harm you. That's a certainty. One of the immediate benefits of drinking Dr. Willard's water is improved nutritional assimilation. So theoretically, this is the only way it could possibly be working because it's not a nutrient in itself. I mean, yes, there's some versions of this that have extra trace elements, and that can help the body, but supposedly, theoretically, the way it works is to improve nutrients assimilation. And actually, I can actually see how that, if that is the case, why that would be so beneficial, because I've always compared whole food natural vitamins that are easily absorbable by the body are many times more effective than pharmaceutically lab-made vitamins that may not be absorbed by the body. It's really how much you absorb into where it's needed that is the most important factor. So theoretically, that's what this water helps you to do, absorb nutrients. Also, another benefit of Willard's water is its detoxing effect on the body. Now, I want to point out, this is actually showing off of Amazon, the product Willard's water. Notice that this is like another key tip-off that does it work or does it not work. Generally, the reviews are pretty good. This is 3 stars, 4 stars, almost 4 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, and 4 stars and 5 stars. So basically, generally speaking, even people currently buying this on Amazon are given it good reviews. Now, this article, I'm going to post a link in the notes, and you can watch this in its entirety. It's very good. Willard's Water on 60 Minutes back in 1980. So you're talking about over 30 years ago. This was actually in existence for it's been in existence for a number of decades now, but still has withstood the test of time. So something's telling me this works. Now, where I actually start thinking it is not just a placebo effect is because it seems to be used quite a bit on pets and animals and plants. And, you know, the pet is not being told, yes, I'm giving you Willard water, and the dog says, oh, okay, now I feel less anxious, you know, or something like that. The dog has absolutely no clue what's being given to it, and the owner is actually the one that's making the observation. But a lot of people that deal with pets, or if they deal in farm animals, a lot of them believe this stuff works, and it's also been used for plants too. Now, that's besides the information and feedback that's coming from people. So, as crazy as this seems to me sometimes on the surface, well, it may be legit 100%, except science doesn't really know why it works. And the guy that developed it was a PhD chemist, Dr. Willard. Actually, not for this original purpose. It was supposed to be a cleaning agent, but it seems to work. I don't know, from feedback that people say. Willard water is a concentrate that has been altered molecularly through the introduction of a catalyst. Dr. John Willard, Professor Emeritus of Chemistry at South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, discovered that the water's healing properties while conducting research. Actually, he burned his hand and stuck his hand in the water, and he claimed it seemed to help. Now, if you look at the 60 Minutes documentary, they'll show a person that sprayed Willard water on an extremely nasty burn, and it seemed like it healed up flawlessly in a matter of months. I mean, like, perfect. No scar. I couldn't tell where there was even any kind of burn. And supposedly this is one of the better uses of the water. Now, obviously it's not just water itself. Willard water is supposed to work by scavenging free radicals and enhancing beneficial properties such as increase the effectiveness of antibiotics. In 1980, 60 Minutes had Willard water tested in a New York laboratory and found nothing at all harmful in the water, but neither could they determine how or why it even if it worked. But what tells me that it works is the fact that they're using it on plants and animals. That's telling me it works because the animal is not saying, you know, I'm going to have a placebo effect because I know I'm being given Willard water. They have no idea what they're being given. Dr. Willard discovered a unique catalyst that alters the molecular structure of ordinary water. In his product, Willard Water, one of the ingredients is fossilized organics from refined lignite. The lignite, which is rich in carbon, is added to reactivate the catalyst altered water. Lignite is a source of trace minerals. Now, I don't know that, you know, this might be a little interesting side note. A lot of times, if you probably noticed, and a lot of people cite this as a reference not to exercise. I'm going off on a slight tangent, but I think it's interesting. You know, a lot of times professional athletes, you know, Olympians and people that played professional sports for decades, they seem to not live extremely long life sometimes. And people are wondering, they did all that exercise, and you think exercise is healthy. But there's a little bit of a theory, and I don't think it's much of a theory, as it seems to be fact, that by them exercising so much, they are actually building up stress levels from free radicals. So you need to actually remove the free radicals, but also through perspiration and also through the simulation of more nutrients, you need to have a lot more trace minerals, and actually through perspiration you'll lose a lot of trace minerals. So sometimes the couch potato could be more healthy since they're not losing these trace minerals, and they're not causing some free radicals to build up in their body through intense exercise. So since this product actually has trace elements in it, trace elements can be a very, very, very inexpensive too thing that is required for good health. It's something that's overlooked, but it is dirt cheap. It is dirt cheap. It's not hardly nothing. And all the products of Willard's Water do contain trace elements. Now I got the one that's called Dark, which is the original formula, which has more trace elements. Now actually I take trace elements anyway, but this is something I'm going to experiment with. But he says that researchers have also found traces of antibiotics that occur naturally in lignite. So, maybe this is why it helps heal wounds, or people are swearing it helps heal wounds, it helps heal burns and stuff. They don't know why it works, but they're unable to dispute any of the claims. And see, what really makes me underthink that it does work is that the product would have went by the wayside years ago. In other words, this is not a heavily marketed product. I imagine that people watching this right now probably never heard of this stuff. Now, trust me, believe me, I am a very, very skeptical person. I'm actually going to try this as the $11 or something one at 60% off the original formula. That seemed to be an extremely good price on Swanson Vitamins. I don't know how long that's going to be there. Other sites seem to charge a lot more. And I always look for the most effective deal. So I'm going to see what this does, and I'm going to comment later, some months later. I think it actually does provide benefit, and experiment with some of these things. Like, in other words, sprouting seeds, where you're doing the wheat grasses sprouting, and see if it actually does better in one container versus another, and that type of thing. But seeds soaked in Willard Water survive during droughts and grow better than non-soaked seeds. Farmers have noticed this. That's why I say the placebo effect doesn't seem to be there. It seems to be real. It's not a placebo effect. Plants can't say, I know I'm getting doused with Willard's Water, so I'm going to grow better. Now, house plants watered by Willard Water grow much better. Owners of aggressive dogs report a mellowing after the dogs drink Willard Water. Maybe that's something the Illuminati need to put in the reservoirs instead of lithium. I don't know, Willard's Water, who knows. Swelling and irritation caused by an insect bite is reduced. It promotes healing, and if used when sutures are still in, it can reduce scarring. Actually, I've read a number of articles just recently, this morning and yesterday and the day before, about all the uses that some people are using for pets and animals in the veterinary world. And a lot of times that's a way I find out if something in nature or something simple or something cheap is actually really effective, because they got a lot of stuff they have to go through if they use it on a person. Now, obviously, this is not harmful to a person. We'll get that straight again and repeat that. But it's not been determined how it benefits a person, just a lot of people that swear by it. But if they're using it in the veterinary world, that's telling me it's real and it's not a placebo effect. That's the whole thing I'm getting at. The placebo effect doesn't seem to be the reason this is working. Why would they use it on plants? Why would veterinarians use it on animals? Why would farmers use it on their cattle and things like that and put it in their drinking water? Or people that raise quail and things like that? Why would they do that? Or chickens or whatever? Why would they give that to animals when they're sick? Obviously, something is working with this damn thing, but Nobody knows why. You can use it as an eye wash. It keeps stress levels under control, and it can be very helpful in many skin disorders when used topically. Now, a number of people use it and spray it on their skin or face and things like that. Now, I'm going to experiment with this because there's one thing that really holds it back. It doesn't have the major big bucks media blitz behind it. Probably if somebody else developed this or some other company developed this, there'd be like 20 different angles behind this product, and it would have been like all over common household word. There'd have been various combinations where Willard Water was combined with something else to make something maybe absorb better or whatever, you know, various experiments, and it would have been heavily marketed. But considering it's from a small family in South Dakota, I guess they don't have the normal, you know, marketing expertise to really push this product. But it seems like, I think it probably is a miracle product that it's not well known. Now, this is the story. I'm gonna actually provide this on the bottom of the notes, and you can watch it or whatever. But you know, if you decide to buy it, I'd recommend that as of right now. This is being May 27th, Sunday. Willard Water, which retails for $30 per quart. For this is the original stuff, dark concentrate. It's dark colored because it has more trace minerals. Only $11.86, and of course, this product will make a lot of gallons of real Willard Water. You'd actually only use, I think it's a couple teaspoons per gallon. So you're talking this 16 fluid ounces will make quite a few gallons of Willard Water and would last quite some time if you choose to experiment with it. And I'm going to report back as to what I think the results are. And I think probably one of the better, more objective experiments would be to use the sprouting trays for the what do you call it again? You know, when you're doing the sprouting, like the grasses and stuff like that, the wheat grasses, and compare them using seeds soaked in Willard Water and seeds not soaked in Willard Water and see if there's a major difference. And I'll try to see how that works over day 1, day 2, day 3, because then it's telling me it's doing something. It's doing something.